I mean, allegedly they want you to keep on playing after the point that they play tested. Allegedly.
So is there a new game plus?
They're a new game plus for Princes of the Apocalypse. I mean,
say Kingmaker, I'm going to strangle you.
no, I'm not gonna. We've already decided on Star Wars.
I know.
There was a friend of mine was joking like, you should just throw them a curveball and just do Curse of Strahd and not tell them, but in space.
Oh my god, yes.
I'm kind of
I'll
down.
admit, I stroked my chin.
That would be funny for us, but horrible for you, because I know you love Strahd.
I'm down.
I would just start making
Although-
Firefly characters.
Yeah, although I feel like a space-themed Strahd would actually kind of change it up a bit for you to enjoy it.
I would. I probably would. And I do have a I certainly do have a relationship with that module. I know it very well. I am a little tired of running a little tired of running it. But it has a lot of longevity. You know, that module, for those who aren't aware, that a big portion of the story is dependent on RNG at the start of the campaign. It is really neat. Like, when people say like the best 5e module, which is the best 5e module, and a lot of people will say Curse of Strahd, while I do have problems with the vanilla module, which we don't need to get into, I have to like agree with that sentiment. Like, I really do. And it really comes down to like, it just has really neat ideas. It is not a module that I would suggest you start D&D with. I know people who have. But that campaign is intentionally rough, and depending on the group, I have been known to run it rougher. It's one of the few modules that I have like straight up cause TPKs with, and in session 0 we'll say, hey, so there is a high likelihood that your characters will die. Or there's a high likelihood that your characters will not die, but you wish they did. It's that type of a game. I love it a lot. I do, as I got more experience with it, I have ran it like Dark Souls. Like, each time I run that campaign, I just make it a little bit harder and harder and harder. And like my most recent group who's going through it is like, why are you, like, we're having fun, but why are you doing this to us?
Where you hurt me.
Because I love it. I love Strahd. I love it. Love it.
I mean, it's called the Domain of Dread, not the Domain of Daisies and Daiquiris. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. And I enjoy having fun.
Wasn't Elias an Echo Knight?
Elias was an Echo Knight. Yes, I guess technically he still is.
Ah,
Why do we bring?
because that's what Theo
I took a 3rd level in fighter.
I almost went with Echo Knight, but not all this stuff doesn't work with ranged.
Hey, will you link that Echo Knight up? I'm just curious if your Warcaster will work with that, because I know you can opportunity attack from yourself. Or from the Echo Knight, but I don't know if it's just melee only, or...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because that's why I didn't go with it.
I can. That's why I chose it, because I can opportunity attack from Echo Knight. ACHO.
I will say, Echo Knight gets stupid.
Maybe.
When you also allow flanking rules.
While we're looking that up, what else did other people take? Yes. Ooh, there it is.
I'm a wizard. I don't get shit.
Oh, did you go 15 wizard?
Yeah.
Nice.
If I was gonna multi, it would have been 3 levels ago. But you know what? This is my character where I was supposed to do a full deep dive into a full caster, and I feel like the spirit of the character would have been ruined if I did anything else but wizard.
You don't even get an 8th or anything at 15?
I get 8 level spells, yeah, but it's like I get fucking one. Oh man, I gotta re-prepare all my spells again.
I'm gonna out fireball the fireball cult.
You mean with alcohol, right?
No.
Oh, so you're 15 cleric then, Jax.
Yeah, I got my first and only 8th level spell slot this level.
And you'll have monk attacks now then, Baloo?
Yeah, I took the 2nd level of monk, so I have my key I can spend on monk stuff.
They could come back on short or long.
He comes back on drum roll. Hold on. Please hold, your call is very important to us. Short or long rest.
Nice.
The only thing that doesn't help me at all is the unarmored movement because I'm armored. So I don't get the speed boost.
How close is it?
So what?
Your AC being unarmored, because doesn't that get your con into it and you've got that con necklace? Like, it might be close.
Well, my armor right now is 16.
That's a good point.
Unarmored, I think I'm 15.
Well, that's what, 8 plus dex plus con?
Barbarian is 10 plus dex plus con.
10 plus 5. Yeah, 15. So it's 1 less than my AC with my... But if I take this breastplate off, my strength goes back down.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
Oh, yeah, that's more.
Gaining 10 speed and losing, 4 or 2 strength is just not worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but for some reason I thought Theo had that.
The only breastplate.
Yeah.
Nope.
Theo's got the.
I have the
Gaunt.
gauntlets, yeah. Where do I have? I have the... Where are they?
Doobie 830.
Yeah, the gauntlets are ogre power.
After much debate, I finally settled on Bard 13.
No more
Just-
Warlock?
Nobody, or most people don't get to cast 7th level spells, so I took a 7th level spell.
I mean, I have 7th level spells. It's just I only get to cast fucking one of them.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I saw percentage-wise, like, people playing campaigns, like, that actually get to the level that can cast a 7th level spell is It's very
Yeah,
small.
the likelihood is not. You know, that's how WotC play tested 5e. Like, they intentionally play tested and wrote material for levels like level 3 up until 12 because statistically the chances of getting past level 10 are extraordinarily slim on average through most of the player base. So Mud's absolutely right. The chance to cast 7th level spells is a rare instance indeed. Also,
Well,
put that in your Xbox achievements. Sorry?
Well, even in the world of D&D, like 7th level spells are.
Oh yeah. It's like casuals will fucking ask, well, if it's a world of magic, why aren't all these problem solved? It's like, well, fucking not everyone can cast Wish, brother. That shit's expensive. It's like the argument, why would there be wheelchairs in Dungeons and Dragons? It's like, well, because the major healing spells that could heal that kind of stuff are fucking expensive, and not everybody has that scratch. Kind of like real life. Magic costs money. And is difficult to do.
Kind of one of the reasons I like Eberron than most traditional D&D settings, because they kind of walk that line better of, yeah, magic is commonly available for a cost.
Yeah, Eberron makes it more like explicit. Sorry?
I mean, this is a fun question for you, Eberron folk. Like, how many characters in Eberron could even cast 7th level spells? It's not many.
Off the top of my head, yeah, I don't think that I have, like, excluding like monsters and demons and stuff, right? Like, we're talking about like people with player classes.
Yeah, like any of the housies or anything like that, even.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say like the higher ups in the healing houses, the higher ups in House Caneth for sure. You got the hags in Drome and the wastes.
The liches.
I would say that's borderline monster at that point. But and I mean, well, and you have the Council of 12, the Arcanics. I'm sure that you've got some high level people there too.
Yeah, but they're like, Council of 12 are the only people who can cast 7 and up.
Yeah.
In that building.
Yeah.
We're probably looking at around a little under 100, like, across the whole world.
I'd be a little more generous with like 5% of the casting population, especially when you think of the abundance of actual casting schools with high-level staff. But we're also talking people who can only cast 1 or 2 spells past 7th level.
Yeah, it's the people who, like, what's really rare are people who can cast 9th level spells. Like,
Yeah.
I think, given Eberron's lore, I think it's actually where we are now. I think there's a significant amount of casters that are no longer alive because of the war. So I'm sure that when Sire is still around, or Siri, or however you say it, was still around, and before the war, I'm sure that there was an abundance. I would say at least 10 to 20% of the casters out there were high level mages, and then the war happened and they got conscripted and became warcasters and died.
Yeah, in the high ages of Galifar. From what I remember, the casting population, like just in Corvair, was like a 60-40 split. And everybody, like actually everybody who was a noble person, never mind the houses, but just like a normal person, a noble person was a spellcaster of some kind, right? To the point where like the countries in Corvair, and like within Galifar before they splintered, like built their states around their spellcasting communities. Like, I'm blanking on the name, but I believe it starts with a K. It's to the north. All necromancers and all the nobility are necromancers, and necromancy is extremely common.
Wait, hold on. I have the map. I have the physical map. What is it?
I want to say Thay, but I know that's wrong. That's the other kingdom of necromancers.
It's the map or give me death.
Oh, you mean Eberron's Vatican? War Vatican?
Karnath.
Yes.
Speaking of, congratulations, Chicago, the first pope from the United States. First pope from North America, right? Or was no? Pope Francis was from South America, right?
Yeah.
But you got that? You got that info?
Which info? About the Pope?
No, not about the Pope. The necromancer country.
Oh, Karnath.
Karnath, that's what it was. Karnath, yep. All necromancers. In Thrain, that's all clerics and paladins, right, and divine spellcasters. Like a major theocracy. And Onder has had a very long noble tradition of just like a smattering of magical traditions of all kinds, like a dedication to wizardry. I know that Arcanix itself as an institution is like constantly fought over, whether it's like Ondarian or like Brevish or the other countries around there.
I think before the war, Arcanix itself was located in Thrain, wasn't it?
In Thrain,
like the physical location.
It kind of bounces around because it's a floating island, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Arcanix. Well, if I remember correctly, Arcanix has always been so between when the battle between Thrain and Onder, Arcanix used to be in Thrain, and then, or no, I'm sorry, it used to be in Thrain. It used to be Thrain territory, and then it got Onder because it's located, if I remember correctly, it's located in Fairhaven, which is the capital of Onder.
But it can move, right? Like Arcanix can move around.
I believe so. I don't remember.
No, it's a flying island. It can bounce around.
Yeah.
And then we're not even talking about like the orcs in the Shadow Marches who invented druidism.
I love that concept. That is like the coolest concept
So good.
ever.
They are so good. The druid orcs of the Shadow Marches.
And honestly,
whose whole thing is we fight demons. That's
right?
what we do.
It reminds me kind of I don't know if you ever saw it a couple years back. They came out with a Warhammer movie about the orcs. That's kind of like what I see their society as. Or was it a Warhammer or is it Legends?
No, it was Warhammer because it's based off the one expansion, which quite literally is the lore of the orcs of, hey, we're shaman druids, and all we do is fight demons until the demons took over our society and used us as war slaves to invade other planets.
Exactly.
Here's my other favorite thing about Onder, though. The nobility and the houses associated with it are all these like very powerful evokers and wizards. But like the other like 70% of the population are hayseeds.
Yeah.
Like everybody outside of Fairhaven are farmers, and I also love that. Man, Eberron's so good, you guys.
I mean, that's the only lore I really know because I baked into Chino's backstory. Like, she's over 100 years old, so she lived before the war. Her families were Thranish farmers. And now she's a 15th level wizard.
That's true. That makes her one of the most powerful wizards in the realm. Which is true. Your band of adventurers here, I'm not sure if you guys ever settled on an official company name or anything, are rather notorious and well known. And I think that's pretty cool. That said, though, is anyone still working on their sheets?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm also
Yeah, I've
done.
never.
Excellent. First things first, I would like someone, you know who you are, to whisper some rolls for me. I need 3.
I thought you were talking about me for a half second.
Perhaps. No. It's not Cat and or Gino. Though, I would very much like a recap of what our main crew did the last time we played. Nothing major, I don't think.
All right. I didn't take very good notes because it was combat, so I'm just gonna read verbatim all the notes I took last session. Combat still. Hargrim has Iron Fang. Everyone prone. Wall of stone ×2 around the manifest zone. Marlowe's earthquakes into holes. Chino charmed a Medusa. Shabazz polymorphed Hargrim into T-Rex. Rexgram reaches next to portal. Jex becomes a sorcerer for a minute and casts a spell. It does big damage and knockback. Hargrim takes a beating. Shabazz wall of force around Hargrim with 1 HP and a dream. Hargrim tosses Iron Fang into the manifest zone. It takes Ogremok and his jobbers with him. On a dime, Hargrim takes out Marlos. Marlos goes down, but starts to petrify. Starts to petrify Hargrim one last time. I did put some words in here. The rest of the Medusa surrender, and all that's left is a lone caster. We kill him, level 15.
That reminds me, Shabazz, we need to get more drugs. We need to make that wild magic happen again.
That was just one thing I was going to add too, is the
It's
drug-induced wild magic.
already happening. You guys took enough. If I understand correctly, I was very sleepy and was functionally out of the entire fight last time. If I remember correctly, you guys took enough drugs to where wild magic is just a thing now, isn't it?
At least while
It
we're taking
depends on
drugs, it
saves
is.
if they take any more. Yeah, like, it only happens while they're high. And it also depends on the saves. You also got really lucky with those rolls.
Yeah, we didn't
There-
suffer too many negative consequences from that.
There are definitely some negative consequences on there.
I think I actually learned 2 new permanent spells from the wild magic.
I wish I got
Oh, sorry, what's that, Jack?
Yeah, go ahead, Jax.
I was just gonna say, I wish I got to keep the fucking meta magic.
Alas, metamagic is heftier than a
You could.
first level spell.
You could.
Gives you
Dip
pink
in-
dragon to trace for.
Just dip into sorcerer instead of cleric.
Can't. Charisma's an 8.
I would say same, but I know my charisma is a literal 5.
That's a solid recap. Thank you very much. I believe you already have an inspiration. I mean, yeah. If anyone wants to extrapolate or punch it up a little bit, I wouldn't mind. But strictly speaking, those are the events that occurred. Are they not?
They are. That was the mechanical slog. Fun, but a slog.
I'm glad you guys had fun. I
Hid in a corner and didn't do much. Yeah, me and Hargrim remember.
You know, I would normally be upset and say like, "Well, fuck you too," but you're right.
Yeah, that was a little bit lost in the recap. The Hargrim down to 1 hit point was pretty sweet, but how he got there was pretty sweet too.
Yeah, that was all mud. Who happened to remember something that saved me 1 hit point?
Listen, I said I was functionally out of the entire combat. You guys are lucky I even took these notes because from my perspective, I just saw some Medusa titties and was like, hell yeah, and now I'm in a hole.
I figured you'd take better notes since you weren't doing anything else.
Hey, all right.
I couldn't help myself.
All right. Now, you got me there.
It's all good. That was the way Hargrim preferred it. His friends were safe, minus Jex. And we're good to go.
And I think it was pretty epic. Had we not switched focus to get rid of Iron Fang, we probably would have died in that fight.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Yeah, Ogremok smacking me for like 50 points at a time. I was like, yep, no. This ain't working out.
That was a good pivot on you guys.
I mean, it was all you and Shabazz for getting the weapon away from him to begin with.
I played very little in that, but yes.
I don't remember specifically, but everybody silvery barbs somewhere along their lines.
That was
And
for
then
the
you guys
paralysis.
held person, heat metaled him, and someone kicked away the weapon right to me.
Yeah, that was all Shabazz. The only thing I did was just keep Milos in place for a turn.
Which
But-
kept him from getting Iron Fang. See? Win's a win.
That is teamwork. As far as I would call it. So yeah, do we have any questions before we continue?
Yeah, how do I open a window to the plane of water? I have a better way of how to handle the fire temple.
You're just gonna flood it.
How to open a way to the plane of water. Funny you should ask. Because you can't. After your battle with Ogremon, your party made a hasty and daring escape out from the Black Geode. And from what I understand, you left all the way back up to Sharn to return to your tower and get some well-deserved rest, recover and recoup your resources, and prepare for your final challenge. It is during this time that certain events start to roll out and take effect. On some level, you were all prepared for an imbalance in elemental ether. I believe it was our wizards, Theo in particular, who identified an issue where one manifest zone is stabilized, its contribution is smothered by the neighboring manifest zones that are still wild and tempestuous and and clearly under the effects of their associated elemental prints. With 3 out of the 4 stabilized, there was a brief period where Sharn felt mostly back to normal. While this did give you a period of grace where you might all recover, that quickly started to change. Shortly after you've gotten your strength back and settled back into your tower, the first thing you noticed, the first warning, was the unbearable heat. Like the most sweltering of summer days, Sharn becomes parched. The sky is cloudless, and the rays of the sun, and even at night, the unnatural brunt of 2 full moons bears down on what seems to be Sharn specifically and the surrounding areas. And it rapidly gets hotter. It gets to the point where it is dangerous to keep anything metal or conductive outside. Sky cabs burn at the touch. Some guards and adventurers start foregoing armor altogether in favor of lighter, more breathable clothing. In the upper levels, it is uncomfortable. In the depths, it is deadly. The geothermal furnaces that serve as the sources of energy for Sharn have been spewing toxic smog that has been choking out the organic denizens down there. Only the Warforged citizens are able to continue working, and even they are under severe physical duress. The other citizens of the cogs, goblins, hobgoblins, orcs, the more monstrous folk, are lining up in droves with their things to try and get up to the lower and middle city for some sort of reprieve. At worst, these facilities outright explode. Veins of lava erupt from the ground. What should have been secure stone and steel streets buckle under the pressure. Whole neighborhoods in the depths and the cogs overrun, where streets are replaced with rivers of magma. Shabazz, your contact, arguably even your friend down there who's hooked you up with alchemical concoctions and solutions before, just barely managed to make his way out of the depths and set up a temporary shop in the lower city, sending you a message of his new location and a brief description on how fucked up the depths are becoming. But it's not just the heat. The ocean levels by Sharn has started to recede most curiously. You're still not sure if it affects the oceans as a whole across Eberron, but on the coast of Sharn, in the Dagger in particular, the water has lowered. Lowered to the point where occasionally we are seeing more and more fish flopping and dying on newfound beaches that should be seabed. Off Sharn's coast. The houseplants in your tower start to wither and die. And the nearby crops and farms that one could see if they look out from Sharn to the north are looking more and more yellow and ochre and lifeless. Unnaturally fast. As if the very life from the earth is being drained. And most disturbingly for the elite, there has been a noticeable sinkage with the Skyway. Bridges in the upper city lean and yawn in ways that make the citizens up there scared to walk them. The Skyway has started to descend, and though the officials say there's nothing to worry about, those in the know, including our educated spellcasters, know that it is a matter of time before something buckles and the Skyway crashes upon the rest of Sharn. For some of you, that might not seem like such a bad thing, except Sharn is a city of towers, precariously put up with a combination of physics and magic, which should seem not only impossible, but without the air manifest zone is outright dangerous. Like a house of cards, should the Skyway fall, the rest of Sharn will collapse in on itself, and anyone in the middle and lower city, never mind the depths, will most likely meet a terrible, crushing end. Then the fires start. They seem to be random. And they do not care what level of the city that they erupt. At first, your contacts with the guards are concerned that these are concentrated attacks from the remaining cult that hasn't been dealt with. But the more they happen, and with their frequency, it seems much more primally cruel. They aren't targets. The overabundance of fire ether is just looking for what is flammable, and if something is a little too dry, a little too tempting, the fires just start. And they are proving more and more difficult to put out. We'll have some time to discuss what you've done during your rest before the worst of this occurs. But when your party is ready, this is the state that Sharn is in. The fire manifest zone has grown too wild and chaotic. It is smothering the other elements, and in so doing is threatening Sharn and all of the people in it. Good use of gifts, guys. Well done. Very, very, very good gifts. Some people have once again evacuated. But the real Sharnites, whether they are lifers from the lower city or proud elite from the upper cities, stay like the captains on an armada of ships that make Sharn. This is their goddamn city. They're gonna stick with it even when it's at its worst. The mages here, housies, collegiates, freelancers, adventurers, it doesn't matter. You witness a remarkable and heartbreaking unity. Divisions crumble as the most courageous and the most proud and the most goddamn fucking stubborn figuratively link arms in an effort to preserve and fight back. You see noble people among the folk of the lower city, pulling buckets of water when magic cannot be cast. You see adventurers not asking for pay, helping sky cabs who are no longer responding to the lack of air ether in the sky to land safely. But for every victory, there is another problem that erupts. Your Karnath contacts are both extraordinarily busy trying to keep Sharn together, doing repairs where they can, helping mitigate damage where they can, even the occasional fire elemental wreaking havoc. So, Jax, you aren't the only one who's come up with this idea to open a gate to the plane of water and let nature take care of the rest. Unfortunately, the overabundance of fire ether is smothering. There are certain spells and effects that are weaker or, at the moment, made impossible by Imix's influence. As long as his manifest zone remains as it is, this will get worse. Some of you might remember your last discussion with Vanifer. Vanifer doesn't want world domination. Vanifer doesn't want justice. She doesn't want fairness for veterans forgotten by the war. She doesn't want adulation to be worshipped like a goddess. She doesn't want to start a new age for her own people. She wants one simple thing, and that is to see Eberron turned to kindling. And this is how it starts. Sharn has its hands busy keeping itself together. And you have been trusted to smother that primary coal, that centerpiece flame. If you have any ideas on how to spend your gold, assuming, of course, different endings that you might have might be affected by how much money you have at the end. But if you want to purchase some things, maybe replenish some potions or invest in some gear, now would be the time.
Does anyone know how much gold we got individually from the last dungeon? I was not following along with that.
Oh. No. But he did remind me I need to update party loot so we can liquidate it one more time.
Oh, the gold we got at the end, I put in the party loot.
Did we? Did you?
Yeah, that and the gemstones and some other stuff. I thought it was the loot we got from. Hold on, let me open it.
Because I know we looted.
Yeah, it's the gold, the
Oh.
the PP, and then the shield, the Mizium armor, and the strange black stones.
I do not have that in my notes.
You were gone.
Yeah.
We're not gone, but you had left the chat. So
Yeah. I will add that to my notes.
By the way, and I'll put this in Fahrenheit because I know who I'm talking to. It is about in Sharn right now. It is fluctuating between 120 to 130 Fahrenheit.
Oh shit.
Oh, so your average Arizona summer.
For now.
Damn, I thought. Okay. Let's see. When did I last?
Yeah, I don't have any intent on holding on to my gold, so if we survive this, I'll manage a way to get more. So if we need potions or... I was thinking maybe some spell scrolls even.
Also, saving the arguably greatest city in the world is a hell of a way to start a world tour.
assuming we survive.
There you go. Ooh, February 6th. So it's been about 2 months since I last updated it.
If nobody's laid claim to the +2 shield, I might... It's not... requires attunement, I don't think.
No, it does not require a tune.
Does anybody else need that?
Mm-mm.
Wait, you can use a shield now, can't you, Theo? I'm so can Jax now.
I don't think I can. I mean,
Yes, you can.
I can, but wouldn't my somatic spells be hindered?
Not with Warcaster.
No.
Only got one hand, but
You only
Yeah,
have to have
Orchestra
2
fixes
hands
that.
on the shield when you brace it, not all the time.
yeah, but
What's
his
your-
other hand's a sword, a permanent sword.
And I already spent the money on a +2 shield when I switched back anyway.
Oh, I guess
Yeah,
so.
Orchestra fixes that.
I guess so. Yeah, you can perform the somatic components of spells even when you have weapons or a shield in one or both hands. Interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yep, that's why wizards, whenever a wizard uses a sword, they do cool flourishy stuff. Those are somatic components.
Mm-mm.
That's not actually true. I just like to think it is.
They have to study with the blade dancing bards in order to learn Warcaster.
It doesn't matter. I could buy one too with the gold that I have, probably. So
Teddy, we got a Pearl of Power. What's the cap on that Pearl of Power?
The Pearl of Power. I believe it can hold up to a 5th level spell.
And does that require attunement?
Let me double check for you.
I'm gonna get it mixed up with Baldur's Gate 3, where it's just like, yeah, just equip it and then never fucking do anything else.
Pardon me, it's 4th level, not 5th level. It does require attunement.
Okay.
I should know this by now, but what's your spell scroll copy in time, Shino?
It's half the normal, but the same amount of gold. Actually, no, it's half the. That's for regular wizards. I'm 2 minutes, but the same amount of gold.
I was gonna buy some level 4 greater invisibility spell scrolls. I just don't know if it's cheaper to buy them or have you do them.
Me, because it's already in my book. Because then that halves the gold price, but keeps the same. Actually, it halves the time and the gold price. So I can make the spell scrolls. At that point, actually, no, that's time to make a scroll. Because it takes, like, what, 4 hours per level of the spell for scroll making?
I don't know.
Keep planning, fellas. I hear my cat is in distress, so I'm gonna go rescue him. He's probably on a bookshelf, but I can hear you guys, so keep on scheming. I won't be a minute.
I remember scroll making is plausible for me, but it's a big pain. And for whatever reason, I feel like the 4 hours per level is what's ringing a very dull bell in my head. Because it would be half the time for me and half the gold if I put it into another spell book, but not everyone uses spell books. Or not every caster uses
Yeah,
spell
I
books.
forgot creating a spell scroll had different rules.
Yeah.
I know level 4 spell scrolls aren't cheap either, but
Also, I believe you got to have the materials, if any, as well.
when you creating the scroll.
Yeah. And as far as I know, it's consumed on use, except for Teddy's house rule, which has that invisibility ink spell, whatever, that's not consumed on use.
Well, I do know we probably want to get Hargrim another big potion at least, right?
I think I still have. Let me look. So I have 0 potions of healing, 7 potions of greater healing, and 4 potions of superior healing still. So I'm good.
I would buy it. I would double that stock.
Nah. If I need to drink all that, we're in trouble anyways.
Need Shabazz to go hit up his contact and get us some more Kyber candies.
I still have 5 5th level Kyber candies.
Okay, drug
And
addicts.
Oh, I went through all my high level Kyber candies.
Oh. Already
I've got
those.
3 3rd level Kyber candies.
I might see if I can pick up some as well. Grab a couple 3rd levels. I definitely need to read potion.
Is there
I need to buy some fifth. Fifth levels
It's
are more
there.
important than third levels for me right now.
are there Kyber candies of rage? That's what I need to know. Because then I might consider drugs.
I'll ask my contact.
I just need like a third level rage.
Eberron meth.
I saved him. There are no Kyber candies of rage, I'm afraid.
Damn it.
And Shabazz, your contact can only hook you up with 3 fifth level Kyber candies.
Yeah, I'd let Jex know because if he wants them, we'll snag them.
Yeah, definitely. I'll front.
Jax, do we need any diamond dust? And other wizards, do we need any material components?
Oh, I need diamond dust and I need sunstone.
I think there's diamond dust in the party loot still.
They're 400 a pop for the Kyber candies.
There's
All right.
500 GP diamond dust.
What's funny is I have the sunbeam spell, and all I need is a magnifying glass, and I find that extremely hilarious.
Very good. Is it very
Um,
funny?
It is very funny. I just need 50 gold worth of rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems. And we retconned my stuff for Draconic Spirit.
Oh, you added those again.
What?
I already had the Mizium and the shield, and I can delete it.
Oh, you know what? I was going through this. I'm like, am I doubling up on some things?
No, I put them in there. That's why
I'm
put it
sorry.
in.
I didn't know you were doing that.
I did it last time just because you were gone, and I didn't want to forget.
Appreciate you.
Hey, Theo, did you look at that +3 plate Mizium armor? That sounds like wizard plate, if there's wizard plate to be had.
3, 4, 5.
I'm not quite exactly sure what it is, but isn't the Mizium like the school of boom booms for wizards?
I have no idea.
No. Mizium is a type of magic alloy.
Mizium.
Mizium plate.
And what it does is it makes you immune to critical hits. Critical hits become normal. They still hit as if they were critical, but they do normal damage. In addition, when you are subjected to a magical effect that allows you to make a strength or constitution saving throw to take only half damage, you can instead take no damage if you succeed on the saving throw.
Is it
it's like-
plate armor or is it
It is plate armor. It
plate
is
armor?
heavy armor.
Oh, I
But
can't
with
wear
any
that.
level, any level in fighter, you're proficient with plate.
Oh.
Are you sure? I thought I'm only proficient at medium.
No, fighter is proficient in
Everything.
everything. All armor, all weapons, everything.
Yeah, this
And
is
you-
a situation where Baldur's Gate 3 makes more sense than the Raw, where Baldur's Gate 3 makes it so that you just get 1 degree higher than what you had. So in Baldur's Gate 3, if you started as a wizard, especially a human wizard, and you went to fighter, you would have access to medium. However, in Raw 5e, these fellas are absolutely correct. You just have access to heavy armor.
Let's see. AC bumps up to. Let me just.
You see.
Yeah, your gauntlets will give you the strength to do it too, because I think you only need strength of 18 to wear heavy armor.
Okay, so my current mithril half plate 16, 18, 19, 20. it basically gives me a 21 AC. So that's a basically +4 plate armor. Hmm.
Don't forget the other advantages of the plate too, like half damage on strength and or no damage on past strength and constitution checks or saves.
Yeah.
Oh no, just something to look at because I think you're the only one that would even make use of that. But it's also +3, so that
I want to
Yeah, that
see.
+3 is huge. I think that's the first +3 item I've seen Teddy give out.
Yeah, I want to see what it would look like if I equipped it.
Also, Jex and Shabazz, when you guys get your HP totals, let me know so I can update.
mine is
110.
Honestly, so I would take a hit to my armor class to go from 21 to 20, but I do get those benefits of like the constitution and
You can also
strength
have
saving
that +2
throws.
shield if you want, because I've got a +1 shield, so that +2 shield will give you 2 more AC as well. Unless you have a.
I thought I already had a shield. Where'd it go? I have the shield of timekeeping, which is a +2 shield or +1 shield. So I could swap out those. I could swap out the shield, go with the Mizium, and swap out the shield and my half plate cloak for the Mizium and that +2 shield, and still keep my AC, my 21 AC.
Blue, are you still in party loot?
I am out of it.
Okay.
You know what? I might do that. I might. So okay. If you don't want that shield, I'll take that shield.
Doesn't that time shield give you stuff to your initiative?
Maybe. I have no idea. What is it called? Shield of timekeeping.
I know it does something else special.
H shield is IE. I'm not seeing it. HILD.
How much are potions of fire resistance? Asking for two friends.
We could look at spell scrolls for that too, probably.
They're each worth 300 gold.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Well, yeah, okay.
Oh my god, that could snowball pretty quickly. Teddy, I'm gonna DM you some assets I need for the next dungeon.
Understood.
I hate shopping for magical items.
I feel ya.
I fucking hate it.
5e makes it a pain in the ass. At least in like 3.5, they actually had resources and lists and etc.
I do need a spell component, 1,500 gold worth of ruby dust.
Yes, I got.
Smash the rubies in those daggers.
No.
Jax, how many of these are you?
I get 2 of them.
Yeah, we can set this up. Just give me a little bit to sort that out.
Shabazz, do you still have that net?
That's his weapon, man. Of course he does.
Okay, so for the start of the Fire Temple dungeon, I need you guys to help me capture the low-level cultists alive, because this plan can snowball quickly once you meet my new friends.
I mean, if you're relying on a net, I'm sure there are things you can buy that are also similar to a net, but are not limited to just Shabazz's hexblade net.
I have additional nets too. I've got 3 regular nets in addition to my +1 net.
I have fish nets.
But we have plenty of ways to not kill people too.
True.
We don't exercise them very frequently, but
Specifically the low-level ones, because I'm going to have to rinse and repeat a couple times for Constitution saves. But if everything goes right, we should be able to just swarm them with zombies.
we might look at getting some spells of restoration too, or I'm pretty sure that's what removes exhaustion.
Yeah,
Great.
greater
I know
restoration.
That's 5th level.
Yeah, but it's cheaper through the House of Healing, I think, through the Halfling House.
It is cheaper through the Halfling House.
If
I
we
still have a
them do
whole
it,
full
right?
rod of healing.
I got a rod of healing. Actually, I don't. I'm a woman.
I'm not falling for that old rod of healing trick again. But a rod of healing just heals, though, isn't it? It's not actually greater restoration.
Rod of healing is just health. It's not greater.
He has the rod of resurrection.
I'm just concerned about that. If it's already 130 here, how warm is it going to be down there?
Right.
Erections.
What if we got elemental rings? Can we find those? Like, I'm sure they're hard to find now that the entire city is baking alive, but isn't there? I believe there's elemental rings of like elemental absorption or something like that.
There's resistance.
Yeah, resistance. There we go.
I mean,
That's what I'm looking for.
You've made some friends. They are rather pricey for those reasons. Each one is worth 6,000 gold for a ring of resistance.
I believe those require attunement too, don't they?
They do require attunement.
Are you a sage advice on attunement, or are you as long as they have an intelligence score over 5 on attunement?
Sorry, say again?
The 2 big arguments for attunement are they have to have an intelligence base over 5 or 6, or things without a living soul can't attune.
You're talking about your
I
undead
see.
minions.
Yes.
Your undead minions are unable to attune to anything. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. That's why I was asking what side of the argument, because I know some people go either way.
I
I'd
think the
already went with
potions.
potions and scrolls.
My side of the argument is, if you present me a sidekick, I will see a red shirt.
Bring Buddy back.
So, motherfucking, during this time, can I simulacrum myself and then have the simulacrum, and Botan?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to make a ruling for simulacrum. Right? A simulacrum cannot make a simulacrum. We're just gonna kibosh that right now.
What level spell is Simulacrum?
7th.
Hold on.
Like, I don't mean to be the fun police, but it's also part of my job to be the fun police, and I gotta set up some standards here in this den of
What if
degeneracy.
What if the simulacrum of the simulacrum that the simulacrumed had quarter health instead of half?
Just simulacrum shadow checks.
First of all, that's impossible now. To simulacrum shadow checks.
But don't throw me with a good time.
I mean, technically, he's just in your leg, right? So
The Mizium armor. Let me set up the Mizium armor for you, Theo.
I believe I added it already. Unless you put in a new one. Are you putting in a new one?
You put in half plate.
Museum plate. Maybe I did. I want museum plate armor.
Yes.
There we go.
It is also, and I'm gonna fix this for you right now.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm in your sheet investigating.
My
It is
character
also
sheet.
+3, so.
Oh, it's +3. Oh, so I have a +22. I have a 22 AC now.
Unfortunately.
Oh yeah. I do need to add my shield, +2 shield. Switch my ELD.
Oh shit! I forgot about the spell book that our alt got last session that Theo might want.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the hirelings found a very cool spell book.
It was. We have an orb of time. What does that mean?
Hey Teddy, can you just validate that my AC is correct? With the calculations of the Mizium plate and my +2 shield now?
technically,
It's called the Fulmination Treatise. Oh, it's right there at the top of the list.
Leo's carrying a pocket lich as well. So I mean, if we wanted to bring that with us. No, he made a promise. You're right.
Shino, we found that old ass spell book that's in your notes there somewhere too, with a bunch of high level spells. Like, those would be worth copying if you have the gold to use your ability.
You know what I say to that? I say you're absolutely right. I absolutely could copy from that book and pick up other 8th level spells instead of just picking the same spells for my 8th levels instead of just copying them out of the book, because I can't be asked to fucking go through 8th level have 7 8th level spells in my spell list, but I can only cast fucking one of them. I'm sorry, I'm just very angry at spells. I'm not angry at you.
Should be able to swap spells on a short rest. That's what I think.
But yeah, it's if anyone needs that spell book that is in mention, I can give it to you, or you can go to my notes and it is on the outliner. It has some very good level spells in there. It goes up to 8th.
I think you're the only one that has any time to copy them right now, anyway.
Theo, your armor
Theo-
class is correct.
You might be right, but like Finger of Death or at least Delayed Fireball. Damn.
Fucking sickening.
I only ever got up to a 24. I was a paladin.
Wait, what is Theo at right now?
26.
I'm at a 26 AC. I'm untouchable.
How much
Yeah,
is it to go
now
from
make a
a
dex
+2 to a
save.
+3?
The
$10,000.
+2, I was at a 21 with the +1 shield. With this new +3 armor and a +2 shield, I'm up to 26. I had a bump of 5 AC points.
I'm glad you have such a high AC. I would love for you to make a dex save now.
My dexterity actually isn't bad. I still have a
Because we're
plus-
gonna get fireballed up the ass.
Yeah, dexterity. I just have disadvantage on stealth checks now. But I have pass without trace, so at least it gives me a plus 10
10.
if needed.
Hey,
quick-
check out that Fulmination treatise, Theo, on the character page. It requires attunement,
Treatise.
but it's an evocation wizard spellbook that you might like.
The
Also.
following spells.
Jax, can you see your new undead friend?
I can. And I moved
Very
the
good.
magic items over from the other undead. Second question. How much does it cost to enchant an item from +2 to +3?
$10,000.
Ooh, it's a lot. A +2 weapon to +3.
Doesn't it get multiplicative?
It is an exponential price increase.
Oh shit, that's awesome. Okay, where are my attunements? Oh, I still have that too. All right. Is that shield? Where did it go? Nope. It's just
Uh,
+2.
Does not require attunement.
Nope. All right. So then.
Also, yes, a +2 weapon to a +3 weapon does roughly cost 10,000 gold.
I wasn't joking.
I have
Damn.
an attunement slot, so I actually could have this.
Take it.
I am for sure taking this.
So does that mean the gold from our hireling session last week is to be distributed amongst us?
Yeah, you can distribute it amongst you. Yeah, you guys.
Uh,
Well, no.
Yay.
You can take.
No.
You can take 20% of it and distribute. Your hirelings need to get paid.
I don't know how to do math.
They're interns. They get paid with experience.
Tell that Blade, no.
And
He will take his cut.
occasional diddle in Chicken Hole Tower, but
Teddy, can you round up that gold to 5 by 5 gold so it's even numbers for math purposes?
Everybody gets 592 gold.
Okay.
No, sorry.
Oh.
Everybody gets 118 gold and 4 silver.
Oh, I have things in my that we can sell. I have 4 garnets
What is-
worth 100 gold each.
What is wrong with Roll20?
You can just convert that into gold. What's Roll20 doing?
It's not letting me open up character sheets.
That's upsetting.
It's like I can open up a character sheet once, but then if I pop it out and pop it back in, and then I close it, I can never open it again. And it's like refresh. I'm sorry, how much gold? 140 you said? And 7 silver?
118.4. I believe is what I said.
What's the? I'll look it up. Never mind.
I
want to buy some. I want to buy some potions of fire resistance for everybody.
6,000 gold per potion.
Per potion?
The fire. I thought that was the resist rings were 6,000 per, and the resist
pardon
potions
me. Yeah. My mistake. Potions of resistance. Are 300 gold each. 300 gold.
I'll go halvesies with you on that one, Shabazz.
I think there is one in the group loot.
There's lightning in the group loot.
I'm just checking how long they last.
I believe an hour.
So basically, as soon as combat starts, we take one, or take it, and then we should be good through combat.
So yeah, I want everybody to have 2 though, just in case. Because what if we end up resting in there?
Yeah, I do already have 1, so I don't need it. I can get a second one, but I should be okay.
So 9 by 3, 2,700.
I don't need it.
Why don't you need it?
He's a barbarian.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna do anything. So 2,100.
I resist everything.
What about when you're not raging?
Yeah, when am I not raging?
Here's the thing. He's always raging.
Is that straight 2,100, or is there an eloquence bar discount in there?
All right, roll your persuasion.
An eloquence bard with the boing boing.
Listen, it's too hot to tolerate that shit.
That's
Yes.
better. Now they're all sweaty and I'm wearing less.
That's a 25.
They glisten like his head.
Yeah, we'll drop that down to 1,900.
Oh, okay, everybody that needs fire resistance should have 2 now. So Shino can have 2, Jex can have 2, Theo gets 1 more, and I'll take 2.
And so Shabazz, I'll go halvesies with you on it, so that's subtract 950 from your gold.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And I think we should probably have a few of greater restoration too, because I think it's going to get hot down there, and that condition sucks a whole lot.
Isn't maybe I'm getting confused with Pathfinder, but isn't there a spell or something that can help you with that like lowers or raises a stage of heat and cold? respectively.
elements, and it's not in 50.
Oh,
Because I keep thinking that too. I'm like, we have so many spellcasters. Why are we scared of it being hot? And I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't exist anymore.
could also be getting it confused with Pathfinder because I know Pathfinder has 1,000 first level spells.
Yes, they have something similar. And I have like 12 grand. I'm just gonna buy the rings so you can have those two and redistribute them.
You have 10.
You can also have 3
Oh,
more.
it was 50. That's what it was.
Do you have the attunement slot for it? The ring?
I'm just gonna sell my necklace of prayer beads because the only spell of that I'm gonna use, I have enough on my spell sheet for.
Yeah, but
And
that
then I
doesn't
have the
cost a
Roderick's.
resource. Do you need to be attuned to the prayer beads?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's kind of different. Hey, Teddy, how much is a fire extinguisher?
A fire extinguisher?
Oh shit.
Oh, there's a fire absorbing tattoo. Oh, that's also attunement and wonders. Never mind.
That sounds so much cooler. Is that within 12 grand and a necklace of prayer beads? I'll go get a tat. Or a mat too.
I think it's kind of one and done.
Turns out it's a tattoo of a ring.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you just innately get resistance to the chosen element.
If it's the same as a ring, can I just pay 6 grand for that, Teddy?
Oh no, the tattoo has a reaction ability
Oh.
where you regain hit points equal to half the damage taken and gives you immunity. Yeah, I see why this is militaries.
Damn, that's badass.
Hey, what was the ruling on spell scrolls or reactionary spell scrolls? Spell
They're in
scrolls with
action.
the reaction as a time?
They're in action. If it's in a spell scroll, it's an action.
Yeah. Using a spell scroll is an action. They are, unfortunately, the process of reading, invoking, and utilizing a spell scroll is just on that merit takes longer than right, or throwing up and absorb elements. There aren't spell scrolls of reaction spells because they're just not practical. The only thing that they're really useful for is for putting into other wizard spellbooks.
I think just the nature of a spell mechanically, a spell scroll mechanically is like you read it, so it takes an action.
Yeah.
Okay, so in character, I have a very important question for all of you.
No.
Will you collectively marry me?
I already answered.
No.
I knew you were going to ask that.
Everyone doesn't want 2+ AC for the last dungeon of the game? We just have to be technically married?
Nope.
I don't know that I want to marry you, but tell me more about this god of yours.
Dedication would also be a good one. She would like you, Shabazz. You get to sit by a warm fire, eat and drink good food, and entertain the masses. Every tavern has a hearth mistress.
Does that cost you a spell slot, or can you ritually cast that?
First
It
Also,
cost me a
was-
first level spell slot, but that's
Oh.
nothing.
I was incorrect before, Jax. I'm sorry. I gave you the wrong number for increasing a +2 weapon to a +3 weapon. That upgrade costs. It actually costs about 50,000 gold.
I knew you were gonna go higher. I'm sorry, it's not 10,000. It's 50.
Yeah, that's my mistake.
Converting it to metric.
Wait,
Jack,
if it's
just-
50,000 for a +3 item, can we just sell that plate armor Theo has on and someone else gets double concentration?
A +3 weapon and or a combination of up to +3 enhancements or enchantments to a weapon is roughly 60,000 gold.
I'm not sure that any of us has time for surgery right now either.
Damn. Probably can't get bigger.
Yeah, Phil might be able to do like one person. Before it becomes actually hazardous to try and do that.
What do we say the cost of the Greater Restoration spell scrolls were?
The cost of a Greater Restoration spell scroll through to the House of Galandra. No, that's the wrong house, but whatever.
Halfling House of Healing, Galanda is one of them.
Yeah, Galandra's
and
hospitality, right?
Hospitality. Oh, what's the other one?
Was that a J name? I believe.
Jurasco.
Jurasco.
They charge 150 for Greater Restoration to cast it, but it doesn't say anything about the spell scroll on that list.
I'm tracking it down.
I'm just going off what was pinned that Theo posted from the.
Yeah, spell scrolls are going to be more expensive. If you are not going through House Jurasco, they run about 3,200. House Jurasco's Greater Restoration spell scrolls go for 2,500.
Even for the Eloquence Bard who's saving the world?
They are already selling them pretty much at cost.
Well, do your damn part and help us save the world.
What
Those
about
guards, the gold's not going to be worth shit if Sharn crumbles.
You are currently saying this in the equivalent of an overstuffed ER.
Yeah, and I stand by it.
Uh-huh. So will they.
I have a odd request. Is there?
Yep.
I know the city's, in dire needs, but is there a diner or like a restaurant that's still open?
Of course.
Okay, perfect.
Not many, but there are some stubborn sons of bitches who will stay open.
Okay. I think Cat stepped away. So
What about a decanter of endless water?
Oh, that would be actually super helpful.
A decanter of endless water.
It
Oh,
is
yeah.
I believe it's just an uncommon wondrous item.
DMG says
not-
500 gold, but that seems kind of cheap.
I do not run. Okay, so the decanter of endless water is a stupid magic item that destroys economies. You can find one in this situation.
Oh, I'm not going to do the holy water hack. I just want it for infinite sipping.
It is still going to run 110,000 gold.
Oh my god.
There's a water shortage, guys.
So, what if I did a
They could
persuasion
fix
check?
it with an endless thing of water.
They are using them.
So you're saying I can do a persuasion check?
They are using them to put out fires.
Yeah, that guy's a
Yeah,
future
we're trying to
probably.
put out the fires all at once. You know what?
We have the fire in our
Sean
heart
can
that
just-
we need to quench.
Sean can just handle its own self. I'm off.
It. Yeah, fucking walking up to firefighters, just like, hey, could we take your truck?
You need that? I hate my spell list right now. I really do.
I'll trade you characters. I'll show what you can do.
I promise you. So I'm using Cassoon's sane magic item prices.
Oh, that's almost as bad as DMG prices. I hate that overcorrection. I'm not arguing with you, you're the DM, but I have strong feelings on their quote-unquote sane prices.
Fair enough. The Decanter of Endless Water is actually an item that fucks up economies, just straight up. That magic item is insane and improperly priced.
No much more than just being able to rinse and watch create, but
Rinse and Wash Create takes time. We're talking about 30 gallons of water that's 30 feet long as an action.
Listen, I heard the kids nowadays are measuring in volume, not length.
Oh, jeez. But if we weren't in the middle of a extreme like state of emergency dealing with a lack of water and intense heat, the price would have been cheaper. Alas, Sharn wants to burn down the Decanter of Endless Water. The Decanters of Endless Water are extremely helpful. And you guys are, unfortunately for your negotiating position, proven to be extremely competent.
yeah, it's gonna bite him in the ass when we hold the town hostage till we shut down the thing. Shabazz, get ready.
Guardian of Goldgate, everybody. Man of the people.
Yeah.
Checks
Yeah, he could be
Duskwatch.
out here. This guy's got enough money to like repair all of Goldgate, and he's spending it just left and right.
Nah, capitalism has broken my brain.
See, you can't guard Goldgate if you just fix it.
No, I can't guard Goldgate if I don't have the supplies I need to go and shut down the fighter portal.
He
So
can't be
getting
the.
brain surgery for dual con was crucial to guarding the Goldgate.
You know, he can't be the savior of Goldgate if there's no one to save. I get you.
Ah, yes.
That's it.
So our motivation is to save them so we can come back and take it out of their asses.
Oh no, after this he's gonna start a church and probably a communist revolution in the bowels of Eberron, and you'll have to come and kill me later.
How mad would you guys be if, like, you guys get through this and one of your rewards is, hey, he's 16th level and a Decanter of Endless Water?
Hey, I'll take it rather than doing a multi-stage boss fight and getting 80 XP.
Oh, there's gonna be a multi-stage boss fight. We're gonna take our break in about 3 minutes, if not a little bit earlier. But when it comes to shopping, is there anything that we need to Sort out or determine.
Did you ever give me a price for greater invisibility spell scrolls?
Ooh, greater invisibility spell scrolls. Pardon me, that must have got lost in the shuffle.
I got 5,000 gold, and I just can't. I don't know what to spend it on.
Yeah, I've got 12.5.
Jesus.
How you guys have so much gold?
We didn't pay for our brother's freedom because I don't have a brother, and I wouldn't give a shit if I did.
That's
600 gold
For a piece.
for greater invisibility. Yeah, a piece. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 4th level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take 4 of those.
Grab them.
Are scrolls concentration?
Yes.
Their
No.
concentration.
Really?
Scrolls are whatever's on them. If it's a concentration spell, it is. But if it's
Yep.
not, it's not.
Oh.
In the case of stuff like greater invisibility, if you lose your concentration, you'll become visible.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah,
figured
because there might be situations where you might want to turn it off.
me when I asked the genie for my 3 wishes to be able to stop time and space, untraceable DNA, and the ability to go invisible.
This reminds me one of my favorite third ed necromantic magic items, the shrunken skull of a cleric. That if you casted a scroll while holding the skull would concentrate for you.
That's cool.
That is
But
a
it
pretty
only
cool
works
magic
with
item.
scrolls.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah, fun magic item. But yeah, 600 for 4th level spell scrolls. Especially
Teddy.
since you guys are getting. Sorry.
When you have a moment, I just want you to look at my spell sheet and just tell me how fucked I am. And all the spells I've prepared. I don't like what I prepared, but I don't know what else to prepare.
If you want to send me it over break, I'll see if you're missing anything that might be more useful.
Oh, I'm missing things that are a lot more useful. It's just I can't prepare more than 20 spells.
I see. I don't think that's a poor list of all at all. Those are good.
Yeah, but like I'm heavy on the 6, 7s, and 8s.
You might want to consider
That's a
preparing
ritual.
Water Walk.
That's a ritual. I normally would have.
Is it?
But it's got the little R right next to the verbal, semantic, and material. Right next to the I button.
Oh yeah, sure enough. Never mind.
I would have prepared Water Walk, but I'm like, oh, it's a ritual, so I don't have to.
It'll be helpful.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. I feel like this is fine, but like, why do I need to prepare 6 6th level spells? I can only cast fucking one of them.
No, you've got a 7th and 8th too. So depending on what it is, you could upcast it.
I know, and that's why I've prepared as many as I did, because I'm like, well, maybe I could upcast it. But then it's like, but I want to cast this spell at 7th level. But then I like this spell at 8th level. So it's like, I
The
love
name of the game is
spellcasters.
utility.
So I'm gonna simulacrum someone before we go into this dungeon. And I know the smart thing is to just simulacrum Chino and just literally have her exist as a counterspell bot, just for the sheer amount of fucking fireballs we're gonna go through. But that's not fun.
You can also have her like just prepare the other 19 spells that you want to prepare.
But that's still not fun.
I mean,
It's gonna be like, oh, we're gonna go into like a fight, and it's like all the jobbers are gonna fireball, and I can only counterspell one of them as a
Can-
simulacrum.
Why don't we just pool our money and get Shino a wand of counterspell?
can a simulacrum rage?
That's still an action, isn't it?
What was Michael's question?
Can a simulacrum? If it can rage, I think it would be extremely beneficial to have a second.
You broke up for me.
Sorry. It'd be extremely beneficial if we could get a second Hargrim, if a simulacrum could rage.
The thing that simulacrum can't do is regain any of its benefits. So it can rage, but it won't get any of them back ever for short rests or any of it, long rests.
So you get 4 rages out of it.
I mean, if I'm gonna simulacrum on Marshall, it's gonna be Photon again. Although Hargrim is tempting because Photon's only 11th and he is 15th with a massive fucking HP pool.
Simulacrum has key points, though. Can do much yet.
A wand of counterspell does not exist on the same merit as why there can't be, or why there isn't a practical use for a scroll of counterspell.
I was gonna say that I don't think that works the way you think it does.
Unfortunately, as a reaction, using a wand is an action.
I mean, it could exist, but like in the same vein as a spell. But I'd just have the simulacrum be like, cast counter spell on the next spell that is casted. Like, cast counter spell, hold the reaction to cast a spell.
I kind of feel like you're overthinking it. I think Botan is the most fun for you, and we decided
She
that
is.
last time.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna do it again.
It's also pretty good DPS.
Oh, it's
Shabazz
pretty.
doesn't get
It's
more
mean
HP.
DPS. I think busted out like a 91 on one of those giants or something. It was.
If I use her properly, I can do a lot.
It's true. But we are at a quarter past time. So let's take our break 10-15 minutes, and when we get back, we'll finalize preparation, and I believe some players have some plans in that window of time where you've been doing your preparation before going down into the final dungeon of this campaign. So we'll see about that as well. Water yourselves, empty yourselves, whatever you need to do. I'll be back in 10 to 15.
It is.
I have returned. With Coke Zero, in fact.
I have also returned.
Very good.
I do not have Coke Zero, though.
Oh.
I got Cayman Jack.
I got good old-fashioned H2O.
All good choices.
Ugh.
Well, my Coke Zero tried to stage a mutiny. It burbled and broiled in ways that I don't understand. Welcome back, Mud.
Like it.
Do we have a cat? We don't have a cat yet. Do we have a Michael?
I am here.
Hopefully Cat will be able to join us, but sooner rather than later. But for the rest of you, is there any more shopping things you want or need to get done?
Got 10K, folks, if anybody wants to spend it.
I also have 8K if anyone wants to spend it.
Bunch of rich folk. I have 1,600 if anyone wants to spend it.
Oh, you got to save some of that for dinner, though.
True.
If we pool, do we have enough for a caster to get another con?
I don't think so, because that's 50.
We could sell a bunch of shit in the party loot.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's party loot we can liquidate. There's at least like 1,000 in stuff we really don't need, and then we can liquidate some other stuff.
I'm also thinking, with the temperature rising like this, does anybody really want to go have surgery?
Why not?
Yeah, I know you're busy putting out fires, but can you make my head hold more con?
Having a tough time focusing?
I need
Need to
to-
concentrate harder?
I would
Phil
like to.
can do one.
I would like to double focus, please.
What two concentration spells are you gonna do, buddy?
I would like to focus on rage and rage.
How much is potions again? Of healing?
Potions of healing?
Yeah.
Well, the most basic are 50 a pop. Graders are 200. Superiors 2,000. Supremes 20,000.
Do we want to have an emergency stash of just regular potions?
I'll take a superior. Let's fuck it.
Maybe someone might want to roll a nature check, which might get you some useful information.
An
That might,
emergency healing.
Sorry?
He said an emergency healing. Why would we need emergency healing?
Like just in case someone goes down.
Ah, yes. The blank page that says extreme heat.
It's a blank page.
For me, it is.
Yes.
But I am sweating now.
Here, let me fix that.
It's like those heat advisory warnings. Extreme heat.
Extreme heat. There you go. You should now be able to refer to the extreme heat rules.
How much is a ring resistance?
A ring of resistance is 6,000.
And that's a tunable item, or is that a regular just basic? I get to use it.
Ring, I think, is a tune.
The potion will do the same thing. The potions will give you automatic success on it. Because it says creatures with resistance or immunity to fire damage, so the potion will do the same thing. And you have an extra one now because Jex gave his up, so you and I each have 3. That's 3 hours worth of it. Just don't let it drop. And then,
Oh,
yeah,
we all have access to. We all should have access to drinkable water, correct?
For now.
well, we can bring some with us, and then we
Yeah.
also in the group loot we have the alchemy jar,
Exactly.
which is like I don't know the table, but it's a minimum of like 8 gallons of water. So
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Whatever you do while you're down there, do not combine the mayonnaise with sawdust. I've seen some things.
how much was that biggest potion? Because I could buy one of those and give it to Hargrim too.
20.
Oh,
20 for
20.
supreme.
I
And then
have 4.
2,000 for superior.
I have 4 on me. Smart.
Does everybody have at least one superior?
I have 4.
I have 3. And I have 6 greater healings.
I don't know. I feel like we're prepared. We might be overthinking it now. Get this close to the end and die.
We're all gonna die, man. I forgot.
But yeah, maybe bringing a little extra water with us wouldn't hurt.
Could I get my arm enchanted to deal cold damage? A D4 cold damage?
It's already a +1 weapon, correct?
Yeah, I believe it's considered a +1 short sword.
Yeah, but you have to attune to
That's
it.
Mm. That can be done. In particular, if you want, your arm can be upgraded to a frost brand
Mm.
if you would like.
How much does that cost?
1 million.
It's not $1 million, but it is going to cost you 1,800 gold.
It's okay.
That's more than I have.
You know what?
So where are you taking me to dinner now?
1800.
1800.
Somewhere that will cost less than 1,500.
All right, I will take it. I'm down to my last 7,000 gold.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
You could free my brother again.
Or you could call Daddy. Please.
Do you want your arm blade to be in a short sword configuration or a scimitar configuration? The only difference is whether or not it does piercing or slashing.
Ooh, let's see. Well, rock monsters are resistant to piercing and slashing. Let's go slashing. Let's go slashing. Slashing damage.
Whoops, did not mean to click that.
The TM misspoke it. It is 4.
Blade 4.
Hot damn.
What the fuck is
Hot
this?
damn, that's really cool. Sweet.
What the fuck is that?
That's Dune.
He'd be walking on 5 if it weren't for the turtle.
The turtle's got it, yeah. The dragon turtle.
Yeah, this is not transferred correctly. Yeah, that should be working now.
Oh, that's so cool. Nice.
So besides the cold damage, you have resistance to fire damage. built into the arm blade. It also functions as a kind of lame torch, shedding 10 feet of bright light and 10 feet of dim light while you have the blade out. When you draw the weapon for the first time, you extinguish all non-magical flames within 30 feet of you, though you can only do that once per hour.
Sweet.
It's also got some either mountain lion or lynx or other type of a big cat kind of motif to it, which I think is pretty neat. Also reminds me of Power Rangers.
It does, though.
Alter the aesthetics as you will. You know, I have that TTRPG. It has some interesting ideas, but it's not good.
I saw the book the other day pop up on Amazon. I was like, should I?
For the Power Rangers TTRPG?
Yes. Yep.
I mean, it's Hasbro trying to cash in on an IP and the upsurge of. It's basically 5e with a funny skill upgrade system, which I actually happen to quite like, to be perfectly honest. But it is busted, and that is not a good book that contradicts itself. And the reason is it was written by just one woman that Hasbro was basically like, make a Power Rangers TTRPG that we can sell for a quick buck. And she was like, okay, do I get a team for this? And Hasbro said yes, and never sent her any help. Under the
Damn, I almost want to
circumstances,
support it just for that.
yeah, like under the circumstances, she did a phenomenal job. But it's neither here nor there. It's got some pretty fun giant robot fighting rules, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, it's got this really neat skill upgrade idea that I like a lot, and I'm stealing for my own system, where and for those of you in the group who have played Fabula Ultima, this will also seem very familiar, where skills are that they don't have like +1, +2 modifiers. They instead are measured in dice size, right? So if you were to do something with a skill, you have a base D4 for being untrained, and then when you become trained, that becomes a D6, and then the better you get at that particular thing goes like D6, D8, D10, D12, 2D6, 2D8. I think it's real neat. Roll20 doesn't know how to do it. They promoted the game on Roll20. The sheet is broken. I'm not sure if they fixed it, but it was a mess. We had a fun time. We had a guy with an abusive comp for a dad. He was doing hard drugs. He was kidnapped by Rita Repulsa, became the Green Ranger. It was great. What are we doing? We're playing this game. What are we doing around shopping? It sounds like we're prepared. But you do have, this is happening over a couple of days. And there is a sense of dread. Maybe a sense of excitement, but there is a sense of totality. Vanifer is the only prophet left, and you are literally feeling the effects of her influence on the world around you. What do we do with that time before you head down to, presumably, the final battle?
I would find Shino and invite her to dinner with some fanciest place that's open still.
Fanciest place that's open.
It's Bugbear Pizza.
It is not Bugbear Pizza, but Bugbear Pizza is still open.
They're doing a new thing called an open oven cooking because it's so hot outside.
Cook it on the tables. It cooks on the table in front of you.
For the tourists, the most impressive restaurant is the Celestia Vista. But you've been here all your life, Hargrim. You know someplace better.
Oh yeah, Chinese takeout.
You could.
But no, yeah. So, if Shino would like to, of course, that's.
There is a place that you've always heard of. You've never really had a chance to go, but maybe now. Wait, hold on. Do you want to impress Shino with high quality flavors of Sharn? Or would you like instead, do you think Hargrim would take her someplace that might have some flavors from her home? Which is, and nobody tell him, Hargrim, do you remember where Shino is from?
It's that place.
Good start, yeah.
Where the fog is now. Right.
It's ironic because I mentioned it earlier in the session. And I think that was the first time I did mention it ever.
Listen, Hargrim would remember, but Blue does not.
Really? Roll an intelligence check.
I
Flat
know.
intelligence.
Okay.
She's from his dreams. That's pretty good for a +0 modifier. What do we think, gang? Is that good enough, or does Shino deserve a DC of 15?
I think a
I'll leave
14 is
Hargrim's
pretty good.
fate.
That's above average.
With the size of Shino's tits, he would remember something. I would call it a DC 10. I think he got it.
I think he would remember
Jack's
it as
pretending
the
to
place
be
with
the waitress,
fog.
hitting him with guidance on the way by.
I think he definitely would remember it as the place with the fog.
So there are two places, right? There are two places on the Skyway. And the first one that comes to mind is called the Cloud Dragon. The Cloud Dragon is something of a extremely famous restaurant that specializes in Breelish cuisine, right? It is an elegant, high-class establishment, and it is where the Sharnites go to eat. The Celestia Vista, that is for tourists, right? Like that is for housies from abroad. That's where Theo would suggest, right? Theo's not from here. And not that the Celestia Vista is bad, but it is, It is heavily crowded. It is very difficult to get a reservation. I mean, it's probably easier with the crowds now, but like, it's a tourist trap, right? You're local, and though you've never had the opportunity, due to your circumstances, you have heard of the Cloud Dragon. In the brilliant district of the Skyway, the Cloud Dragon has a stellar reputation that does top quality traditional British cuisine. Your mom has always wanted to go to the Cloud Dragon. The more you think about it, though, the more you think maybe instead, like, Shino's been living here for months, and though she hasn't had like the top quality British cuisine, you guys have eaten at some pretty good places, right? And you have some pretty great chefs on staff. But you remember that Shino and her sister are from on Dare.
Yeah. Yeah. I was testing everybody. You all failed.
I mean, what currently is on there, yes.
Something about Ondarian farmers.
That's right. You did say that.
There is another place. It's a bit more. It's a bit more out of the way. It's still on the Skyway, and it is a restaurant tied to a hotel. The hotel and the restaurant share the same name, the Azure Gateway, and their menu is described as a Galifar fusion. They mix a number of styles and dishes from all 5 of the core Galifar nations, including Ondare.
That's
But also,
that's the place. That's the one.
now, she might like that. Those are the two locations, right, that you know of that would actually be better than Celestia Vista. I mean, the food in both places is supposed to be better than Celestia Vista. They're both high-class establishments. You will have to wear a suit.
Okay.
They all have incredible views over Sharn. Here is the question that I have no control over. Celestia Vista is the tourist trap. It's going to be very busy. You have an opportunity to get in because of the current situation, and out of pride, none of these 3 restaurants are closing, or evacuating or whatever. The Cloud Dragon caters to Brelish tastes exclusively, and is a very, very, very good at that. The Azure Gateway is that fusion restaurant, is in the Azure Gateway hotel, which is extremely lavish. The hotel is better known than the restaurant.
We're
Between,
going. Oh, my bad. I thought you. My bad. Keep going.
You'll have to choose between the 3 of them, and only Kat has the answer on which one Shino will actually like the most.
I mean, Sheena will, but Kat won't, because I don't actually know.
Well, you better make a snap judgment there, Cat.
You can DM me which one's the right one.
I'm not gonna determine your character's tastes.
I don't.
She's
You
fancy.
think about it, and Baloo, you roll that roulette. You got 3 options. One of them
And
is
those-
going to appeal to Shino.
And those 3 options are for those who need to choose.
The
so-
Azure Gateway, the Cloud Dragon, or that other one.
Celestia Vista.
Yeah. I'm gonna choose the Azure Gateway.
Okay.
Uh-oh, that was not a approving. Okay.
No,
I don't know
no,
I don't know what Alicia. I don't know what Cat's gonna. I don't know what Shino's gonna do.
different character.
Sorry.
That's a different character. No, that was Teddy's normal. Okay.
I am.
And yes, I totally knew what to pick, and I wasn't just assuming Teddy would know in my place for me because I made this character, and yeah, but I did choose Azure Gateway.
Dang.
That's what
You
you
did?
chose.
Wait, you did?
I did. Yeah,
you said you
got it
did.
right.
All right, cool. Cool. I never doubted myself. But yeah, I will wear my sleeveless tux that I had to wear back when we went to the party.
Sleeveless stuff.
The one we had to wear. We went to that big party, whatever that was. The ball.
You guys are lucky. You guys are lucky that you're saving the world.
Fuck.
What's wrong with a sleeveless tux?
What's wrong with dinner?
But,
So,
yeah.
Azure is located in the southern skyway, hovering over the Memphis Plateau. This district features expensive estates, unlike anything found in the lower towers, churning vistas of cloud stuff forming the elegant landscape. Even so, sometimes you think you feel the slight decline of the skyway descending, occasionally shaking, as gravity is finally getting a hold of the floating district. You pull some strings, you ask for some favors, and presumably Shino agrees to your request to go to dinner with you. The reservation you are able to make is for the very night before your party is going to make their presumably final expedition into the Fane of the Eye and the domain of fire that lay beneath. The Azure Gateway looks much like a gate in construction. A massive arch where people walk and drive between upholds a massive building. The hotel built to house hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands. It is made from a curious stone of gleaming blue and gilded with silver and gold. the ostentatiousness, a stark contrast from your own upbringing. There are very few people here, but those that remain are exorbitantly wealthy. Did you get your beard done before coming? Like, did you talk to a stylist? And
I would have had my mom braid it.
oh, that's sweet. Hargrim gets curious looks. Shino looks like she belongs here.
Goddamn right.
As she steps out from the struggling air cab that had managed to make its journey up here. With an appropriate tip, that's 50 gold, by the way.
Okay.
I'll pay that. No. I'm paying.
Okay.
Shino steps out with all of the sultry grace that any of us may associate with one Jessica Rabbit.
Yes.
And then here comes Roger Rabbit.
Hargrim, you are not a high society raised dwarf. Your tux does not have sleeves. And it looks like that your mom braided your beard. You are charming in your own way, but among the folk up here who do not immediately recognize you and your contributions to the city must stop and take a double take as they are surprised and a little bemused at your presence at the Skyway until someone more informed lets them know that these two are among the heroes that have helped preserve Sharn as well as they did. Is keeping Sharn safe and will continue the fight soon. You do overhear some mutterings that you do deserve to be here for all you've done.
I ignore
Listen,
them
man,
all.
I was in an improv group for 6 years.
It's showing.
Hargrim, thank you.
Yep.
Hargrim,
Mhm.
your date is currently exiting the Sky Cab. How do you conduct yourself?
Well, I open the door for her, of course. And then I have her take my arm.
I'll take
And
it.
we gracefully walk in like we belong there.
Goddamn right we do.
It is so terribly warm.
That's why you wear sleeveless.
Yeah, a couple of patrons are starting to see the wisdom. As you step into the hotel, there are a few patrons left, though it seems none of them are checking in. There's some individuals lounging, and there are some people checking out. You hear a conversation between an attendant of the hotel and a guest. The guest complaining that the chilled air crystals are no longer working, and the rooms feel swelteringly hot. The attendant apologizes. The etheric imbalance is preventing them from working properly. The patron doesn't seem much to care, needing to work out their frustrations on somebody. You encounter some rakish, handsome, and stylish individuals who smile at your date, overlooking you. Some even with an inkling to approach. How do either of you approach or react?
I'll smile but shoot daggers with my eyes.
Intimidation check.
Surely.
Your gaze wards off most would-be saboteurs, but a few are deterred enough to not immediately strike up conversation as you make yourself known, but otherwise do not seem threatened, more convinced to wait for a more opportune moment.
I'll take note of those ones for later.
Shino,
What's up, bro?
you notice some individuals taking an interest in Hargrim.
Well, okay, there we go.
That was hilariously timed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess Hargrim has cold feet.
No,
No.
I don't know what's on there.
Is there anything that Shino does to deter prospective interest in Hargrim?
I'm assuming making an ass of me, but I'm assuming these would be female gazes.
Not wholly.
I mean, there's probably some things I could do, but I'm not very good at them. Let's see here. I don't know. Nothing's coming to mind. Let's see here. I will. Probably not going to be any good at it. But I will just I'll do something to where I'm going to draw the attention to me and away from him, which is probably going to be a performance.
Yeah, all right, let's see a performance.
I'm much better at persuasion, but I can't think of anything to say, let alone to do. But you know what? It's fine. We just get natties on these.
19 is well enough to put yourself out there in such a way as to communicate that the dwarf on your arm, at least for tonight, belongs to you.
Yeah.
You earn some sneers grumbles and scoffs, but you accomplish what you set out to do. You enter the restaurant, a pleasantly dark place that is still warm, but ever so slightly cooler. It is dimly lit. The sun doesn't reach here, and distractingly, what should have been a beautiful scene of aquariums, large walls and roofs of aquariums with swimming fish of all kinds and sea life, the illusion is slightly tainted by a small army of Magerites who are casting cantrip level ice spells to keep the water from boiling and killing the fish. A handsome half-elf man with perfectly coiffed auburn hair and a charming smile and a master servant's grace bows at you from behind a podium. Welcome to the Azure Gateway restaurant. I am Ravan Malak, your maitre d' for this evening. Do you have a reservation?
Yes, 2 half bing.
Ah, yes. You're a little early.
Mm-hmm.
We do like punctual guests.
You're not early, you're late.
If you'll follow me. And Ravan will guide you to a table a little out of the way, up on some steps. It's enclosed by a sort of like cul-de-sac of aquarium. It's without being completely separate, it's a little bit more intimate. And with the aid of your waiter, the two of them will set up 2 candles, which will not use fire. They set up candelabras and they use these blue crystals that give off like a dim light. He explained that they would normally use real candles, but considering the strangeness of fire magic lately,
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
they're playing it safe.
Yeah.
Smart.
They welcome you once again, and Ravan will explain that the Azure Gateway has a menu that is intended to delight all palates, as well as provide travelers a taste from home or a taste from countries abroad. All flavors of Galifar are represented here, as are different wines, and he will present wine menus. Hargrim.
Mm-hmm.
You should have enough gold to get through the night. But you notice that there are some bottles of wine that do not have prices attached.
Must be free.
Incorrect.
Summer child.
So yeah, I'll go for a nice, like, I don't know. I don't know what's expensive. We'll say 200 gold worth of bottle.
A Thranish red, then.
Exactly.
I know just the bottle for your table, sir. And they will they'll produce like a basket of bread, and we'll ask, considering the reservation type you made, would you be interested in some live music for your table?
No, I don't think so.
Very good, sir. We shall be back momentarily for and now I'm getting tongue-tied, for your order. And he'll leave. Looking at the menu, yeah, nothing has a price attached to it. There does seem to be it's not like a novel of a menu, right? It is rather sparse, but there are like some decided items that sort of like represent the five Galifarian nations.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. You went for like the $200 bottle. It wouldn't be the Thranish Red. I'm sorry. He's actually going to grab Siren wine, which is a bit intense since Siren wine can't be made anymore, as far as anybody is concerned. Not in a purist sense, anyways. But the menu has some interesting things. It has like it has steaks in the Thranish style, which will be like cooked in front of you with a live fire. Carnathian like schnitzel and sausage dishes. And Ondair, it would seem that the flavor of Ondair is that of like Italian style noodle dishes. Noodles and meats and tomato and oil based sauces. Seeing those, Shino, strikes a particularly nostalgic chord with you, as does the Siren, the Siren meals that they have on the menu. They do say that if you order any of the Breelish representative dishes, it's all seafood, and all of the fish is caught off of Sharn's very shores and are fresh that day.
See anything that strikes your fancy?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what I'm looking at, but I think I'll go for this. The closest thing they have to spaghetti.
Is that probably the Yondair thing, right?
Yeah, it's in the Ondair section for sure.
Mhm.
All right. So
Usage.
if you're gonna do that, then Shino's just gonna clap her hands and say, "Oh, good, I wanted that as well," and then she's gonna order the Thranish steak.
Perfect.
Your waiter will return with your wine. The Siren wine literally sparkles as it leaves the bottle, and he asks, what you'd like to order. We don't need to like fully RP that. But are you polite or commanding?
Both.
Give me a persuasion check there, Big Shoots.
Okay. Persuasion. Ooh. We're good at these.
All right, I'll give you.
Nope.
I will give you advantage because I know you and you're not.
I'm not
I know
sure.
you, so I'm just gonna be like, puffing out my chest and just like holding the wine glass and like rimming it with my finger to try and do something that gives them a persuasion advantage.
Good, because this 6 persuasion is going to lead to Hargrim ordering Thranish pasta and Ondarian steak.
Well, look at this nat 20. Nope, that's a 2.
Jeez.
Maybe you should order.
No, you managed to order, but you sort of stammer and trip over your words. It really is warm in here. She knows squeezing her tits together, it's distracting.
So I gave him disadvantage. Got it.
I should have had disadvantage.
Yep.
The waiter says what in such a way that later you will know is innocent, but in the moment rather pisses you off, and feeling rather embarrassed, you do end up ordering correctly, but harsher than you would have liked. Thankfully, it's not a critical failure, so you don't grab the attention of other tables, but you do not have a... you did not make a good impression on the waiter, and that might affect the rest of your dining experience. But he will take note of your order and will ask a little hesitantly if there will be anything else.
No, thank you.
I'll ask him. I'll ask him for the dessert menu after our meal.
Of course, miss. And he will go off to attend to that, leaving the two of you with that awkward and magical gap of time where you don't have the excuse of putting anything but bread and wine in your mouth, and there's only so much of that.
Yeah. So I do have an ulterior motive to asking you here. The other day when I was dying, laying on my back, it was the first time in a while where I felt like I might not, see tomorrow. And knowing what we have to go through tomorrow, I didn't want to leave anything unsaid. So, with that, I will kneel down and I will pull out a ring.
Oh.
I made it. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. It's a gold and silver band. The gold is kind of like blocky, dwarvish style, and the silver's like smooth, filigree kind of flowing. And there's a big square garnet in the middle, and then in the center of that is a sapphire shaped like a flower.
Oh.
It's a ring of cold and fire resistance.
Oh my god.
It also
Hargrim rolled really well on his crafting checks.
It also has a secondary effect. Every time I'm thinking of you, there's a swirl of harmless frost and fire that, swirls around the ring.
That's cool.
Oh, as Hargrim claims, pink elephants and all that, that very effect starts manifesting and orbiting the ring.
We might die tomorrow, but or maybe I will. But if we don't, would you marry me?
Hmm.
It's so sweet. Uh,
And I run.
then so Shino is going to take a moment and put a hand to her mouth and just kind of be speechless because she's kind of stunned. And then she'll take her hand and then have you slip the ring on and just say yes. And a little tear will, a single tear she'll shed from her eye. And then just being like, and she'll just say, I was not expecting this. I didn't think you getting closer to death would make you do this.
I planned on doing this eventually, but realizing my own mortality, I figured now was the time.
Wow. I was just thinking about if we were serious or not, and you proved that you are. So she's just gonna keep stuttering and losing her trains of thoughts and words, even though I have increased her charisma. And it's kind of different from her normal, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm kind of blabbling on just because I can, because this time it's she's genuinely taken aback. And then she'll stand you up and then give you all big ol' kiss.
Hell yeah.
I have a question for Hargrim.
Yeah.
Did you learn sign language to help make this proposal?
Yes. I feel like I've been watching her long enough that I can.
I forgot I was deaf.
Very cool. You can go ahead and add that to your sheet for free.
Perfect.
I knew Navi was gonna spoil me.
Oops. Sorry.
No worries. At which point, a team of servers come to your table with an elaborate wheeled tray, which you realize is a grill. Before Hargrim is served his Ondarian pasta, the Thranish steak involves cooking segments of delicious looking steaks of different cuts on a Thranish short sword over a fire. And each of the steaks has like a different like regional flavors. And it is 1 part cooking your meal, also 1 part entertainment. The cook appointed to this task is a devastatingly handsome dwarf who is a much better flirt than you are. And having probably seen just before coming here that you obviously proposed to Shino, is flirting with her anyways.
I should challenge him to a cook-off. No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't do that.
Do what feels right. What would Hargrim do?
Oh, he'd beat everybody up, but that's not the point.
Jax is Overwatch on the next building, just taking the dwarf out.
Hargrim, should I take the shot?
Botan, take the shot.
Actually, what is Jax doing?
Well, he was already the waiter to give him guidance, so now he's just making sure people don't interfere. I'm going with Looney Tunes shenanigans because, why not?
It's a piano
Okay.
from the dwarf.
So
He's been harping Hygrim up and since day 2.
Did you know he was going to propose?
I had a feeling, honestly.
Funny you should say that. If there was any doubt, you suddenly get like a strong clerical urge to prepare a ceremony ritual. Like while you're in the back ingratiating yourself with the rest of the staff, it is just like a disturbance in the force, like the screen reverberates. It's like, oh, gotta cast ceremony.
Are we glancing over the rusty staff comment?
I've waited so many campaigns to actually use ceremony.
Is there a bald-headed elf accompanying them and a one-armed mechanical maitre d'?
Just look at the table next to us, and it's my mom and my brother and the rest of the party.
Is everybody snooping, or are you guys doing your own things?
No, we're all about to die tomorrow. Like, we knew he was going to propose. We secretly planned the wedding to happen, too.
What?
Theo's in the kitchen cooking up with the chef, using his arm as a knife.
Got a fake mustache.
The fire from the grill is the light reflecting off Shabaz's head.
Incredible. You have a delightful meal. What are 3 subjects that you two talk about over the course of your date?
Ooh.
Where we're going after we defeat the cult. I've never left the city. Well, unless you count the trip up the dagger that we took.
Shino, you hear Stormreach is pretty nice this time of year.
Maybe we talk about Theo's little adventure into the mist that he wants to take.
Let's just move across the pond to Australia. Sure. What do I want? Certainly, I feel like next steps.
Survive tomorrow.
Yeah. You know what? That's what all I'm gonna be is like. You know what? Tomorrow, we don't know. But for right now, I don't care. We'll figure it out.
your date eventually begins to wind down. The dinner service was lovely. The company, obviously, wonderful. The sun has now set. There is still some time in the night for perhaps an extended ritual of some kind.
Oh, there's gonna be a ritual, all right. I was reading over this spell. It says it don't matter what's happening outside this globe. It is comfortable inside the globe.
Just in the middle of the restaurant.
Until it eventually comes to your bill.
Oh yeah.
The bill comes to
Are you more worried about the bill or whether or not I said yes?
We'll see.
650 gold.
Oh, that's
That's not bad.
where we're at.
The typical bill is about 200. Not that you guys know that, because neither of you have been here. But just so the audience knows, Theo, you might have been here, actually. If you catch wind of this bill, you know that it should be around 200 gold.
Why was it so much?
Well, the wine alone was 200.
Somebody fucked up getting a good impression on the waiter.
Oh,
And the wine, you went for like the most expensive wine, and you bought a bottle of wine which is otherwise priceless, which is why that's so expensive.
hey, you know what?
I pay it.
Are you gonna show Sheena the bill, or at least tell her?
No,
Or you know what? Maybe I'm just gonna vibe check you when the
just-
bill comes.
I am going to.
Deception. Yeah, deception check.
Close.
What does Shino see in your smitten eyes in
Yeah,
regards to this bill?
I was looking at her most of the time, and then I finally looked down at the piece of paper I was handed, and I just kind of blinked like 6 times, like, huh? And then I just start pulling out money. I assume this is normal for rich people. Now I'm just gonna play it off like it's fine. Nothing. It's all fine.
The waiter will thank you, congratulate you both, and when you decide to depart, don't forget to return to the coat rack, or to the coat check, and we'll wish you both a wonderful evening.
Um,
I'll give him a throat slash as he's walking away. Just
well, before he leaves, I'm just gonna place my newly glammed up hand on the waiters, and I'm just gonna look to him, and I'm just gonna be like, you know, it's a special night given the circumstances of everything going on. I'm sure you could cut us a little slack for the newly engaged, because we chose this place specifically. My attempt is to lower the bill.
Persuasion.
I will roll first, but I'm willing to spend an inspiration on this.
Jesus.
17's good enough. I'm good. I'm letting that lie. And then, just for a little context, like when I'm driving home the point, I'll just kind of squeeze his hand Like, I don't got a lot of strength to back it up, but just enough to be in, like, I'm not fucking around.
I mean, there's a part of me that wants to go, bitch, I'm in a union. You don't want to fuck with Breelish unions. But that is a 30 persuasion.
I got 2 guns for his union. I'll flex.
Yeah.
Or
He will.
sleeveless.
He will smile, of course. We almost forgot about your dessert course.
I was gonna mention that if you didn't.
And we will happily provide you a complimentary late night hors d'oeuvre and breakfast during your stay, and he'll slide to you a room key for the hotel.
Is this like a high-end room key, or is this just like, oh yeah, you're on like floor 12, room 70?
You are going to have to gauge the situation and determine whether or not you want to take that risk. It does look like a rather fancy looking room key.
Is my passive perception or investigation applicable? Just so I can.
You can roll an investigation.
All right. Oh!
Follow your heart.
My heart says to forcefully make it a big one.
Are you going to use your inspiration?
No, I might just say to him that like that I'm gonna use the clout. That this is the night before we're going to put an end to all this heat, and I would love to come back again and visit this place in its prime without the external goings ons, and that I'll just kind of look at him and be like, trying to get the better room key if I don't already have it, because I don't know, but I'm just gonna be like, Hargrim went all out for this, so like I'm gonna go all out for this room key. And just let him know that, we're the heroes of the city, and imagine all the revenue and the foot traffic you'll get if we Mass Effect 3 this. And I'm Commander Shepard, and this is the best store on the Citadel.
Considering that angle, the waiter will speak with the maitre d' and see what he can arrange. And you will eventually get a sweet key.
There we go.
The key you got, for the record, was not a bad key.
I had a feeling it wasn't a bad key, but I knew it wasn't the best.
You will be granted one of the top floor suites with a roof balcony overlooking the city.
There we go.
An enchanted hot tub that does produce bubbles. There's a little sign that says "Do not use." Considering current situation, state of emergency. and probably the largest, lushest, most indulgent bed and surrounding rooms and amenities. Like, this is the type of hotel room that has 2 floors, you know what I mean, with a spiral staircase.
Fancy.
That's why you trust your gut, people.
And I don't think we need to extrapolate any more on what happens in this particular room. So we will fade to black. And I would like to ask Jex just how much work he put into setting up a ceremony spell at the tower, expecting Hargrim and Shino to come back tonight.
I'm ordering the round the servants so much at the tower, Theo almost confused me for one of his mothers.
Insight check, Jex.
All I'm gonna say is if the hot tub's in the tiny hut, does that mean it works normally?
That is a workaround. I'll let you have this.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like you're gonna be soaking with Hargrim.
Bubble bath time.
I mean, Hargrim is a squirter.
Not anymore. I got rid of the drape.
Just that quiet Jesus Christ broke me a little. Jax, when it gets around to like 11 o'clock at night, you start getting the feeling maybe they're not coming back.
I didn't expect them to. It's morning ceremony before we leave out.
It's
Heroes breakfast.
There's a single tear. Well, what a nice scene. This is much better around the table, so I'm not gonna ask for a round of applause. Know that I would have if we were at a physical table. Congratulations, completing a PC to PC romantic side quest that wasn't just degeneracy. Well done. Thank you, Kat. Excellent. For next session, because of that, and everyone being a good sport, everybody is going to have an inspiration at the start of next session. Yeah, just 75% degeneracy. It's not all degeneracy. There isn't a fucking half kobold, half Russian baby.
Hey, Teddy, if you had a nickel for every time your players proposed to one another this week, how many nickels would you have?
This week?
Yeah,
I'd have 4 nickels. It's been a wild week.
Really?
Yeah. If we're counting like the Friday and Saturday games from the week before, technically, like in the last 7 days, yeah, I'd have 4 nickels. I'd have 2 dimes.
Really? Everyone's getting married? Wow.
Like, I don't know what it is. It's the flowers of May. It's something, I don't know.
I think Hargrim should wake up and be like, "Oops, I thought you were your sister."
Yeah.
That's how Hargrim mysteriously vanished.
Yes,
Never to be seen again.
Sucked into her leg.
Shoo.
You know,
Hmm?
Hargrim's old-fashioned. I did have this whole plan of asking Theo for permission because you two are the closest. But I figured the shopping took a while, so I was like, we'll just skip that part.
Kino now hates you. If you asked Theo before her sister,
Well, I would have asked her sister probably too, but Theo, like, asking the father before. He's not her father, but it's like her brother, I guess.
I didn't kill off my parents, but I don't know if they're alive.
Yeah.
They would be very old.
I would be very old. It would look like a middle-aged people.
They would be very old.
Yeah. My dad's not invited to the wedding, though.
Yeah,
It's like,
you need to have an address for that, anyways.
fuck that guy.
So Hargrim has to leave with a tux that lost 3 sleeves, presumably. And
Wear a towel.
Hey, that's how we'll take care of the fire problem.
when
So-
you two newly engaged... Oh, sorry, Hargrim?
Nope, nothing.
When you two newly engaged paramours return to the tower in the early hours of the morning, there is an expedition to tend to after all. Walking through the gates, there is a long carpet trail that is adorned with what exactly, Jex? Flower petals or something else?
No, precious stones in the shapes of flowers.
47 has a little metal bow tie and will say, Master Hargrim, Lady Shino, no. Please go this way. Where is this ceremony taking place, Jex?
I'm guessing on the grass top of the roof because it's really nice up there and it'll be the coolest part of the tower.
Yes, outside in the scorching heat.
Do you think the tower has air conditioning?
I don't think there's any grass left up there.
We're right next to the air node. I'm sure there might be some protection, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At the top of the tower, where the air node is, where the grass is. Well, it's not the sun growing extra high. It's more like ground fire. So, we still might have a yard.
Amelia Cluckhart better be in a tux, too.
Everyone's in a suit, even if they're all minor illusions thing to Shabazz.
You get to the top of the tower. There is a collection of lawn chairs, a beautiful like a buttress that is like framing a makeshift little podium, and Jex is there dressed in something. How are Theo and Shabazz and by the way, the rest of the staff, like assuming that they're forced, are all in attendance? Your Medusa is in attendance. Your like Satyr Girl's in attendance. Your Awakened Griffin has a little bow tie and is like sitting to the side.
It's that one guy
Yeah.
here with his what the fuck, his Bullet and his Medusa girlfriend. What was
No.
his
Jax, did you invite them?
name?
Yes.
All right, they're here too.
It's just a Bullet up there.
I even got Hagrim's mom a brand new dress.
The bullet is
Are-
the ring bearer.
Hargrim, your brother is crying. Your mom is rubbing circles on his back.
What a wuss.
Tell us about the ceremony, Jax, and then let's wrap this thing up. I imagine I may have put Jax on the spot here. But also mechanically, can you tell us exactly what happens between Shino and Hargrim? How did you do that without knowing that this was going to happen, Cat?
Huh? No, I literally just started looking like 10 minutes ago.
No, I mean, how did Shino in character?
Because I have 3,000 gold in my inventory and an inspiration to remember I just have a wedding dress on the ready.
You know what? Fuck it. Glamour Weave exists. Glamour Weave exists in Eberron.
So how much gold do I owe you?
Let's not. Wow, spectacular. This session has devolved into nonsense.
Wouldn't want it any other way.
Well, it
It's
sounds
Thursday,
like
right?
it is Thursday. It sounds like Jax is maybe asleep. Hopefully asleep. So we will tackle the mechanical ramifications of the ceremony spell before we wrap. Your descent into the fire temple requires some of you to ride a lift. Now, Theo can fly, Shabazz can fly via Pizzazz, and can carry one other passenger. Jex comes with 2 more people, possibly.
I have a bag of holding.
We can ride the griffin that I awakened.
Why are we making it harder for ourselves? Just fall down the hole and cast Featherfall.
Oh yeah.
You might not want to do that.
Okay.
Leo awakened the griffin, so we can take that too.
There is a lava at the bottom.
Oh, then water walk.
A griffin?
Yeah, if you remember, I did the whole
I do remember.
with Leo. It was supposed to be a mount for Hargrim that I never used.
Does he have a name?
I don't remember.
Or she? Well, you'll have a week to think about it. I'm assuming the newlyweds are on the griffin.
The hippogriff is named Patu.
Hippogriff.
Very good. I appreciate that.
Well, it said Patu with 8 O's.
Shabazz, are you going to carry a passenger? And if you are, is it going to be Xerox or is it going to be Jex?
Yeah, I can take a passenger. It doesn't matter. Where are we going?
Fire Temple.
Oh, we're
The fire,
flying there?
the Fire Temple has a shaft that has a lift that only holds 4 people. But you guys have flying
Yeah.
mounts, so
I could take someone. I can cast Featherfall on someone. I'm extremely strong, so I can just hold on to the person while I fly down with Featherfall, and then just yeet them to wherever they need to go when they get close.
Well,
I
if
hope
we
you
only
all
need,
realize how ridiculously silly this is.
yeah, if there's
Sorry?
only, if we only need 5, 2 on the hippogriff, you can fly, and then Jex can ride on Pizzazz with me.
Yeah, we'll call good.
Yep.
Right on. Good enough for me to set up this next map, and we are going to head there directly
Yeah.
as soon as we sort out the ceremony mechanical nonsense. Jax, so you are here. Jax, I'm going to give you some homework.
Oh, my mic was muted for like the last.
Your mic was muted? Tell us about this ceremony. What do you put these people through? How does
Since
marriage
my
is
whole thing, well, honestly, it's usually a lot more chill, but there had to be a fire, which is kind of awkward right now. And it's the sharing of a cup because it's about the hearth, and then they have to make a small offering, and then I bind them with a cloth between their wrists, and then they have to walk to their room. But they already did that part, so we just cut the cord and go off after that. Because technically they're not allowed to be untethered from each other until after the deed, but we already know they consummated.
It's all right. The Griffin can be at the back of the flight train, and nobody looks backwards. They got plenty. You got like at least 10 minutes by flight.
Mile High Club.
You'll get that sorted, I'm sure.
Yes, the awakened hippogriff is going to love that.
Yeah,
What
I
do
don't know
you
if I
think
told you,
for it?
Jex, but it costs a handy to ride Pizzazz.
I can fly. It's okay.
I hear unicorn milk is expensive these days.
Delicious.
Unicorn milk?
Oh no.
Does it come out of the horn?
Of course. Where else would it come out
The
of?
bottom horn.
One could say that.
Oh no.
How do you
From a
milk
certain
them, man?
perspective.
Well, you know what? I was expecting us to be in the dungeon tonight. I've been reevaluating and prepping this combat and these rooms in this dungeon to match your new level. But this was very nice and very sweet. I'm very, very proud of the two of you having the courage to see through a romantic side quest. You don't see that very often, and it's always nice. So good job, congratulations. Make sure you all have an inspiration for these guys the next time you play, because even if you weren't actively role playing in that very sweet sequence of scenes, everyone was an extremely good sport, and you put me in a good mood, which is good because starting next session, I will be actively trying to kill you.
Same.
With things other
You
than
actually
just bad
mean that this
math.
time, Teddy.
We'll
So,
see.
what do my new ring do?
It's
Oh.
resistance
The
to
cold and
cold.
fire resistance.
Cold and
Gotcha.
fire. You have to attune. I just stole a ring of fire resistance and a ring of cold resistance.
It's a song of fire and ice.
I mashed them together.
Boo.
I will now be setting up your ceremony bonuses.
Oh, you're good.
You know, if you
On
ever
my
hit
sheet.
Hargrim, we could say that paper finally beats rock. Because you're a
Oh my
scribe.
god.
Oh, okay.
Is that the kind of relationship we're setting up here?
Hmm.
In a way, the fling with the Medusa also brings scissors into the equation.
She don't have legs.
Shino sure does. It'll reach weapons. All right. Do we have any questions or comments or anything else on our minds before we start properly wrapping up and bring today's session to a close?
I'm good.
Well, good. Thank you guys very much for playing. And yeah, next week after a brief introduction, yeah, we're in the final dungeon, gang. You've done it. You are at the beginning of the end. So, good job. Exceptionally done. Only one more dungeon to go, and possibly, depending on your choices in this dungeon, a secret super boss. But that's dependent on you guys.
It's me.
It's Hargrim. No, it's not Hargrim.
Just, Hargrim's love child.
It's Theo with the AC at 26.
It's a fucking
I can
demon
still
baby
hit you.
Tuesday.
It's the turtle giant wielding Theo's penis.
It's a demon baby of Lamash too.
Well, I am pleased to say it is none of those things. But thank
God.
you. Thank you guys very much for playing. This group is a delight. I like playing with you guys a lot. But yeah, since we are in the final dungeon, an update on Star Wars. I'm going to be starting more serious work on it now that we're at this point. I've been sort of just chipping away at it before. I'll be working on getting it properly set up, and because Foundry requires you to do like everything yourself, there will also be a breathing period. We already talked about this before. There will be a breathing period between campaigns, and I will still be here at this time. I am going to be setting aside our usual time for game explicitly to focus for those 4 hours on getting the game properly set up, designing enemies, preparing the maps, writing out the module, etc. So for those of you who have not been thinking too heavily about your characters or haven't thought about them for a while, give those a refresher. If you have any questions about the setting of the game or things you might need to know or can't quite remember since the last time we talked about it, it is Old Republic Sith, near the end of the Sith Empire. My inbox is always open, and in that period between games, our rough roadmap will be, unless I get it done sooner, 6 weeks. And in those weeks where we would normally have session, in Discord here, I will be streaming the original and a prequel trilogy, just kind of for funsies. So if you guys want to like come in while I'm working on stuff, and absorb the vibes, and also like if you need like questions, answers, like that is time I'm setting aside to be available, and also in lieu of game, also providing a sort of entertainment. That's roughly what we'll be doing. We'll start if I get everything done before then, but like that 6-week breathing period is like my hard line. We are stopping after we finish that 6th movie. Or sorry, we are starting after that 6th movie, right? Like that is my deadline, and I'm going to keep to that.
Cool.
That sounds like it's cool.
Right on. Also, hopefully in that time we'll have an opportunity to get to know Chris better. He is making an Ewok. That motherfucking thing scares me. What Chris has cooking up.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, thanks for the game, everyone. See you next week.
See you then.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.